Welcome Game of Thrones freaks and geeks to this special episode of the Word From Westeros, exclusively produced for allgeek2me.net. I'm Kait Calabro, and this is my show. Last we spoke was right after the season 5 finale of Game of Thrones, where we all watched Jon Snow lie motionless on the cold white snow as right after his brothers stabbed him. Now, I never believed for one second that that would be the last time we saw my beloved Jon Snow, and during my last episode of The Word for Westeros, I gave you all a bunch of different fan theories of how Jon Snow will return. Well, a lot has happened since that episode of The Word from Westeros, and now we can kind of officially confirm that some version of Jon Snow will be returning to Game of Thrones Season 6. At least we know right now that Kit Harington, aka the guy that plays Jon Snow, has been spotted both in Belfast, which is where Game of Thrones films, as well as on set of Season 6 of Game of Thrones. So there's that. But last week, Game of Thrones gifted their fans with a very early holiday gift by releasing this brand new poster that features the one and only Jon Snow. I think we're all allowed to freak out just a little bit about it, you know, like, woo! So, yeah, that's pretty cool. There's two things that we should talk about the poster. One is that we finally get the Game of Thrones Season 6 release month, not even a date. Game of Thrones will be released sometime in April, which is a little bit later than usual. There has been a lot of rumors from other Game of Thrones fan sites, as well as just rumors from people that have been on set that this season's a little bit more tedious than past, so they had to push back the release date, which is usually very early April or late March, kind of around Easter time. Second, we don't know anything other than this is a picture of Jon Snow with blood on his nose, so we're not exactly sure what is going on in this circumstance. But the widely popular theory of what's happening with Kit Harington, aka Jon Snow, who has been seen on set rocking a man bun, we should add, is a big battle which is believed to be between Jon Snow, whoever's on Jon Snow's side, the Wildlings, the Boltons, possibly the Greyjoys, possibly Sansa and Theon are there. Ramsay's definitely there, pretty much battling it out to see who gets not only Winterfell, but the right to the north. So a lot of people are believing that Jon Snow is coming back and claiming Winterfell is his, or claiming that Winterfell belongs to Sansa, which would make sense since technically Jon Snow is still a bastard unless we get a fascinating flashback, which is possible because Tower of Joy is rumored to be one of the locations for Season 6, but we'll talk about that in another episode. So the rumor is Jon Snow is coming back to fight for the North and fight for the Starks' claim to the North, which is super freaking exciting because it's about time that either Jon or especially Sansa should get some kind of respect for Winterfell and for the North and for the Starks. And it should be noted that not only has Jon Snow been seen and Sansa been seen in Belfast area filming, which is Belfast, Northern Ireland is where they film most of the North stuff for Game of Thrones, but Bran Stark is going to be in this season, as well as finally Rickon Stark will be back this season. They've all been spotted in and around set locations for Game of Thrones Season 6, which is huge because maybe finally the Starks will start to rebuild thanks to the younger generation. So for everyone that doubted that Jon Snow wasn't coming back, you fools, because clearly he is. So that's about all we have right now for solid Game of Thrones Jon Snow leads. So I will, of course, keep you updated. That about wraps it up for this special edition of The Word from Westeros. Tune in next week when I go over pretty much everything else in the world of Westeros and all the other characters and everything we know thus far for season 6 of Game of Thrones. Make sure to subscribe to All Geek to Me TV on YouTube so you never miss an episode of The Word for Westeros. What else? And also just check out our other great, cool, geeky content that we post up on the channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Kait Calabro, so you get up to the minute information about Game of Thrones Season 6 and just what I'm doing in my life, because clearly you guys want to know that. Yeah, so Game of Thrones is officially set to return April 2016. And until next time, remember, you either win or you die.